As mentioned, Moody and Sankey lit fires around the UK, but Holy Spirit was over this nation at the time, and they were often the catalyst, but then they passed on the baton. Now, the problem with Moody, the story of Moody, is that there are so few buildings where I can film that are associated with him. So I've chosen a place near where I live in beautiful Buckinghamshire and in the Chilterns. It's just so beautiful today. So Moody went to Berwick-on-Tweed, and he was only there for one day, but he lit a fire that lasted for 2 years. Ministers came in from all denominations from around the district, and then they went out taking the fire out to the surrounding areas after Moody had left. In the big cities like Edinburgh and Glasgow, Moody did a great work, powerful work, and then he encouraged other ministers to go and do likewise. The surrounding areas of those cities took fire, and one minister said that if you're ministering in Glasgow, it was almost impossible not to have powerful meetings. And then 2 months after they'd left Belfast, there was reports of powerful meetings going on and the Holy Spirit pouring out. They had evangelistic meetings all over the district, all over the city, in every district of the city. And there were reports of the power of God, especially in County Antrim and County Down. And then in Manchester, one minister wrote, "Manchester, I am pleased to say, is now on fire. The most difficult of all English cities, perhaps, to be set on fire by anything other than politics. It is now fairly ablaze, and the flames are breaking out in all directions." All over the countryside, pastors were hearing what was going on in the cities, and they wanted what they had. They wanted what God was doing, but they didn't know how to light the fire. So fortunately, each of the countries had set up an evangelistic society, so that when there was cries for help in the countryside, they sent out evangelists 2 by 2 to go and help. These may have been experienced evangelists or even just people who were newly saved. And this went on for years afterwards. And then there were pastors who did things on their own. There was one in Bolton who he set up a pastors' conference. He arranged for pastors of different denominations to come into his pulpit. He arranged for midday prayer meetings. He arranged special services. And then, quite apart from Moody and Sankey, there were across the nation, fires were starting up. From Shetland down to the west of Cornwall, there were revivals beginning which had nothing to do with Moody and Sankey, because Holy Spirit was hovering over this nation. Moody and Sankey left the United Kingdom in August 1875. They had worked tirelessly while they were here. And all through this film, I talk about the hard work that they did. And Henry Drummond leaves an account of what a typical day was like for Moody, who, remember, always took Saturdays off. He says, "A 3-mile drive to the noon meeting, lunch, Bible reading at 3:30, followed by an inquiry meeting till at least 5. Then a 5-mile drive to the East End to preach to 12,000 at 8:30. then an inquiry meeting, 5 or 6 mile drive home. This is every day of the week and next, a terrible strain, which, however, he seems to not feel for a moment. Rather him than me. Lord Shaftesbury, at a kind of a thank you service, thanked God for not sending Moody to a place like Oxford University, because he said, for he had a wonderful power of getting at the hearts of men. And while the common people hear him gladly, many persons of high station have been greatly struck with the marvellous simplicity and power of his preaching. And I guess he felt that a formal education would have destroyed that. And he added that the Lord Chancellor had recently said to him, the simplicity of that man's preaching, the clear manner in which he sets forth salvation by Christ, is to me the most striking and the most delightful thing I ever knew in my life. He was an amazing man, Moody. So it was an incredible time. Thousands were saved. Revival was spreading across the nation. And we must be thankful for that time. But did it spread into society? Did it change the nation? Frankly, I have no idea, because, as I've said before in other films, nobody has thought about going back and recording the results of a revival, which is a great shame.